Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good morning, CaneSport. It's June the 24th, 2022. I'm Gary Ferman, the publisher of CaneSport.com, joined as always by managing editor Matt Shodell as we discuss the news of the day, presented by LifeWallet, where the time is now to take charge of your personal health. And Matt, I don't know what to say the time is now for this morning. I don't know whether to look backwards at the official visits that have taken place the last couple of days. I don't know whether to look forward to what's going to be going on at the U this weekend with official visitors and, of course, on Saturday morning with the Legends Camp. We're going to touch on it all today. We apologize to everybody that we didn't have a show yesterday, but we felt it would be better to just tie it all together with a big show this morning. Where we are reacting to actual facts and news and maybe speculating a little less on things that might be obsolete by the time you watch. So, Matt, should we look back or go forward first? What do you think?
Why can't we do both at the same time? Back to the future, future to the back.
Walk and chew gum. My buddy Jay Collette on the message boards will be happy to hear us say that. Yes, Jay Collette and everyone else, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. But that would be way too disjointed. So I'm going to exert my executive privilege here. And I'm going to say, Matt, before we look ahead to this weekend, let's look backwards to what went on the last few days. You had official visitors. You had Peyton, Kirkland. You had Francis Magoa. You had, obviously, Jaden Rashad. And then lastly, I guess Robert Stafford was the other one. And, you know, Matt, a lot to talk about. Everybody wants to know about Rashad because he's a quarterback. So let's start with that. And I want to share something with everybody just so they could see how crazy things get with this recruiting stuff today. So somebody sends me this screenshot from a Gator message board yesterday. I guess about midday it was. And some guy was saying Rashad committed to Miami. I guess this looks like a text string. Rashad committed to Miami. Brown did too, and of course they're talking about Jaylen Brown, who visited Miami this week with Rashad. The deal was crazy. I thought UF was going to match it or exceed it, but I heard Billy backed off, and I assume Billy. I haven't done my research into who that Billy is, but I guess the big Gator NIL guy or whatever. Florida's version of John Ruiz is Billy. And so, you know, I thought this was kind of interesting, and that the Gators and some insider or whatever was saying that Miami got Rashad. Now, I started doing some digging, and, you know, obviously we've been saying for a long time that Miami was in decent shape with Rashad. Rashad was supposed to have committed to Miami months ago. And then all the craziness began, and Matt Shodell, do not go off on one of your rants and tangents about how crazy this Rashad recruiting has been to cover. We get it. We're all on board with you. But it has been crazy, with all respects to that. And but Miami never faded from the scene with Rashad. And it came down to a perceived Miami-Florida battle here. He's supposed to announce on Sunday what he's doing, and all the speculation is that he's going to pick Miami. But this, of course, this text that I have up on the screen that was on the Gator board is obviously referring to NIL. Now, this is what my reporting yesterday uncovered. I would not write any of this. I'm qualifying it. This is all speculative and, you know, not properly sourced for an article for sure. But I heard that the Gator NIL offer was $1.5 million. Okay, so theoretically, if that is true, and I don't know that it's true, it may or may not be. But if the Jaden Rashad bidding has gotten as high as $1.5 million, and that would probably be, I guess, I'm assuming over 3 or 4 years or whatever, then theoretically it would seem that there would at least be an assumption that Miami would be competitive. And I could tell you that until Jaden Rashad commits to Miami, that John Ruiz is not going to engage. And I think John Ruiz has a track record of being very fair, and he certainly has come through with flying colors on all these NIL deals to this point. But he's been very clear when I've spoken to him that he's not into bidding wars and all those types of things. So assuming that's true as well, then Jaden Rashad would commit to Miami and then would engage in NIL discussions. And then obviously, if he wasn't happy with the NIL discussions as it goes forward, up until December, he always has the option of doing whatever the heck he wants. He's not signing with anybody. And then even after December, he can always transfer. So plenty of time for Jaden Rashad to work through all of this. My guess is he knows if he comes to Miami, the NIL is going to be competitive. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. You don't have to be named Matt Shodell to figure that out. I think we can all assume that Miami is competitive with NIL with any player that enters the equation. So, Matt, all signs are pointing when you put all this together, and I'll take that off the screen now so everybody could see your entire face. But all signs are pointing that Jaden Rashad is coming to Miami. We're not hearing any Gator speculation right now coming off his official visit. The announcement will come on Sunday. Yes, we think there is a reasonable chance that a Jaylen Brown commitment comes alongside that he and Jaden Rashad want to play football together. You can read the tea leaves. They were at Miami together during Jaden Rashad's official visit. Am I missing anything, Matt? Are you on board with all this?
Am I even part of the show? I wasn't sure if I was even. I thought I was on mute for the last 6 minutes and 40 seconds.
Did I really talk for 6 minutes and 40 seconds? Well, listen, we promised a very thorough show today, so I'm not really worried about time. And if people get to work and they haven't listened to the whole show, I imagine they'll sit in the parking lot and let us finish. So we owe the people meat today, so I figured I'd give it to them. But you have the floor now.
Yeah, look. From what I've heard, also nothing you've said is wrong, but it makes me so uncomfortable to be talking about NIL deals being offered, NIL discussions being had until December, because by the letter of the law, the NCAA will put on probation any program it can prove did that. It's against the rules. And you're not wrong. Every program does it with every top recruit. You don't have a choice. But I don't know how the NCAA deals with it. Do they make an example out of Miami? It's not going to be that difficult.
Listen, God honest truth, to what I know, the NIL discussions have not taken place at Miami. I like I said,
let's not be naive, Gary. I'm
just telling you, this is what I like. I could have false information. I said at the beginning that I wouldn't write any of this. Like
I already said, I don't disagree with you. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Jaden Rashad is looking for a payday, as is every top quarterback.
And he's going to get a payday. Every top quarterback.
They all will.
And
they should look for a payday. But it makes you uncomfortable because it's never been that way before. We're not used to it. The NCAA says you can't do it, but they all do it. And you can't compete for a top recruit unless you're doing it with everyone else. Like, that's just the way it is, man. And I don't know if it's wrong. I don't know. But what I will say is when Jaden Rashad commits on July 1st, that's just who won the opening negotiation for recruiting Jaden Rashad. It's not done. Miami fans can celebrate.
You're going to have to sweat it for 6 months.
But it's not even close to being over, man. I've covered recruiting for so long. Jaden Rashad will be a drama recruitment. I guarantee you. He will be taking more visits. I guarantee you. Unofficially, whatever, man. That's just the way it is now. And let me tell you something. This is what's going to eventually happen to some program. And I hope it's not Miami. But there will be an agent out there who pisses off another agent. And that other agent is the one who's going to go to the NCAA and say, look what I got on this guy.
Well, the funny thing is these high school kids they all have attorneys and agents.
Dude, I called a recruit the other day, and I asked, is he coming to Miami for the camp? He says, I have to ask my agent. This is a high school kid.
Yes.
I mean, it's out of control, and I don't know what happens from here, but I do know agents, and I do know there will be an agent that rats out another agent to try and get that prospect when the NCAA tells this if you rat out an agent, basically the NCAA is going to suspend that agent from being able to represent a school if they prove an agent has the goods on the guy, videotapes him doing something illegal, whatever. They all do it. I mean, I'm telling you, they're agents, okay? That's what they do. Nothing against the agents. They're doing what they're supposed to do in terms of just like colleges. You have to compete to get recruits. Agents do what they have to do to get clients, or they wouldn't get any clients. It's a dirty game. It's the way it is. It's just set up that way. There's nothing wrong with it other than the fact it's against the rules. You can't compete otherwise. My point is this: there will come a time where an agent rats out another agent to the NCAA, has them on surveillance videotape doing something illegal to get that guy's all his clients, because the NCAA will put that guy up. You can't represent anybody anymore. And whatever school is involved in that mess will come out publicly and will be screwed. And I'm just hoping it's not Miami. I hope I don't know when the shoe's going to drop. It's just a matter of time. It's going to happen. And it's a little crazy. I hope the NCAA just backs off. Let it be a free enterprise, because there's no way to control it.
It's not it's not going to continue to be the wild, wild west.
But they can't control it. There's no way to control it without bringing the hammer down on programs and making programs scared to death. And it's which programs do they bring the hammer down on?
The market's going to tighten. The market will tighten.
The only way to tighten the market, Gary, is to bring the hammer down.
It was a new thing. A lot of people got caught up on it. You've had a couple kids, and really only a couple kids, that have gotten just ridiculous numbers. Nico at Tennessee. I think Rashad, Dante Moore.
All allegedly, because they can't technically do it. It's against these ridiculous rules.
No, I understand, but they have attorneys that could at least get an understanding of what it might be. They can't sign deals.
Legally under NCAA rules. The attorney can't even get an offer from an agent.
Well,
that
the agents and the attorneys
correct. That's what we're talking about.
Are going to do that.
Correct.
Okay. But the top quarterbacks are going to get big deals. I think there's an understanding. Jaden Rashad, I guarantee you, is working under the understanding he's going to get a big NIL deal no matter where he goes. Whether it's Florida, Miami.
This Miami recruiting class, the way it's shaping up right now, I had my doubts over the last month. I have very few doubts right now that this is going to be a killer Miami class, as long as they have a pretty good season, as long as Josh Gaddis stays for another year, as long as all those things happen, this class will be sick, man. And this is going to be national championship caliber class 2 to 3 years down the road.
If they get the lineman, Matt, they got to get the lineman. Okay. Let's qualify. You got to get the lineman. Okay.
The linemen are the least of my concerns. First of all, they're going to get Jonathan Klein this weekend. They've already got another guy on board, Tinello, they like a lot. And they'll get a couple of tackles at some point. They need a couple more tackles.
As long as they get the big time linemen, I would agree with you, and we'll see. But I think
the lineman recruiting is not a problem. Linebacker recruiting, that's a problem. DB recruiting, I'm not thrilled with right now. I think Damari Brown comes, but Damari has to come. That's huge, and a couple of others. But the offensive side, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback recruiting, outstanding. Yeah. Offensive line recruiting, I think, is going to be great. Defensive line, I think they'll get Ruben Bain and a couple other guys. I'm not that worried about defensive line recruiting right now. Linebacker, DB, if they can get some really good guys in those two areas, this class will be the top 5 in the country to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're going to get Rashad. I think they're going to get Jaylen Brown. I think they're going to get Nathaniel Joseph.
Yep.
Don't accuse me again of being too optimistic. I have been consistent.
No, I've
been consistent on this for weeks, Matt.
I have been converted, but
okay, good, because
I'm very optimistic. But again, it's not signing day. Everything looks great right now.
Get to signing day. Long way to signing day. 6 months. All right. So anyway, let's pull it all together on these official visits. So cornerback Robert Stafford.
Even he wasn't this is so unusual to me to have kids that actually want to come. They you don't think they're going to come. They come on a visit. All of a sudden they're like, yeah, it sounds like they're going to come. I mean, it's almost like the good old days. It's like party time in the Shodell house. For once, I'm going to enjoy this for a few days. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I don't know what it's going to be, but I just have a bad feeling because bad stuff it's never ever as good as I think it's going to be. So something's going to happen. I'm just waiting. I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe it's just gonna be I don't like season 4 of Stranger Things. Maybe that'll be the bad thing that happens, or maybe it'll be something with I don't know.
I thought I was the one wearing cane shades all the time, man. You're
There's nothing. What is
I need to get you a pair of these?
Listen, I'm a guy. I'm a guy I'm a simple guy. I just tell it like I see it. If it's going good, I'm going to say it's going good. I'm not going to just be Mr. Negative all the time. When I see deficiencies, I'll say I see deficiencies. Right now, I see the path to what I thought it would be, which is a national championship team in 2 to 4 years. Like, I can see it. It's coming together. I'm just waiting for, the other shoe to drop, the NCAA to get involved. Who knows? But like right now, it looks great. I'm not going to rain on the parade other than to say, let's wait till signing day. Like, no matter how many commits you have on July 1st, it doesn't matter, like it's more work to hold on to commits than to get them, quite honestly, because you get them within a 1 or 2 month period and they got to hold on to them for 6 months. That's the hard part.
All right. So, Robert Stafford, I think you and I probably agree. Things are looking pretty favorable there.
Oh, and by the way, running back's going to be good too. I forgot to mention that with Johnson. They're going to get him. So, yeah. So, I mean, the offensive. Anyway, yeah, go ahead. The offensive recruiting is off the charts. Off the charts good.
Okay, Robert Stafford's a cornerback. All indications coming off the visit. We got a story on the website today. He's from Melbourne. He's a 4-star kid. And he's got almost 50 offers. This is a guy that can go, obviously, to a lot of places. Matt, but it's looking, coming off this visit, that this kid who's also taken visits to Georgia, Florida State, really likes Miami. Your thoughts?
Look, Robert Stafford, I talked to his coach for a while yesterday, okay? The coach is such a nice guy. Love the coach. I'd never talked to him before, but, some coaches, like, blow smoke up your butt all the time about how great their kids are. This coach just sort of kept it real. He said, listen, this coach has been head coach for 9 years. He said, Robert has been recruited since his freshman year. He is sick of recruiting. He doesn't do interviews. He's like over with this process. But the coach is in regular contact with the family and with Robert, and Robert loved the Miami visit. I didn't ask the coach if he thinks Miami is the favorite here, but reading between the lines, I mean, I think Miami's going to have a really, really good chance to get him. But again, he's just coming off the Miami visit, and other schools are all over the phone, calling him right after the Miami visit, trying to wiggle in, and the kid's going to sit down with his parents, weigh things out, and we'll see where this goes. I'm not going to just sit here and say I know where a kid's going off a Miami visit, because as soon as those visits end, they have that exit interview with Mario Cristobal. Hey, coach, I love Miami. I think I'm coming. Okay, coach, see you later. They're in the car. 5 different schools are on the phone with the guy and with his parents and with the family, with the kids' coaches and the kids' best friends. Like, who knows, who are also football players. Like, recruiting is crazy for a reason. Mario Cristobal has been playing this game for a long time. He knows that nothing's a sure thing. And he's got backup plans to backup plans to backup plans with all top kids. And he's not going to go to tier C. He is going with some positions with tier B, which is okay. He's not going to tier C. He'd rather take nobody at a position and go transfer portal than go tier C, which I love. And I really think they can get 20 to 25 tier A and tier B guys. I really do. And while some people might say, oh my gosh, look at all the 3-stars, that might be 3 stars. Emory Williams, Jonathan Klein, some of these other guys that are already on board. But for Miami, Mario Cristobal looks at them as 5 stars. This is how these coaches look at things. Even the JUCO wide receiver, from what I've heard, Miami coaches love this kid. I mean, to me, talking to people and knowing some of the things, the offers that he didn't get, it makes you question it. Emory Williams, App State evaluated him and did an offer. Like, it makes you question things with Emory. Like, well, why? But maybe App State just didn't see the things that Miami sees in him. So different coaches see different things. Apparently, the guys Miami's taken, they think fit their system, fit the type of kid they want. Like Emory Williams, hard worker. Jonathan Klein, hard worker. The 3 stars you see are kids that Miami sees the talent, the potential, but also that they know. It's the old school recruiting, right? Where you talk to everyone around them. They know these kids are going to work their butts off. These kids are Miami Hurricanes. These kids are not the prima donnas that you don't want to deal with, that have come to Miami for so many years. I'm not going to name names because fans get mad, but you know who they are. 5-star kids that come here and flame out because they don't work hard. They walk through practice. We talked about one of them who would literally walk through practice. And those of you who watch the show for a while know who it is. I'm not going to call anyone out. But these are kids who won't do that, So it's a wasted scholarship if you take a 5-star who's not going to try. It affects the whole team. So I love the approach, the recruiting approach Mario Cristobal's taken. This new coaching staff is unbelievable. But again, you need to sign the kids. The commitments are great. Everyone's going to celebrate, have a big party. It means nothing to me. Talk to me in December, whatever that middle Wednesday in December is.
Yeah,
that's when I'll talk to you.
There's no doubt. I mean, you're not wrong about that. Proof's in the pudding. There's always a lot of movement. All right. So Rashad, we've talked about. Let's talk, and we've talked about Stafford. Matt, let's talk about Peyton Kirkland. He's a 4-star offensive tackle. He's a true 6'7", 325. This is a huge human being. You wrote about his visit. Funny story about Kirkland and another offensive lineman, Francis Magoa, riding around in golf carts, and if they would lean the wrong way, the golf cart would almost tip over and stuff. That's a funny story. Everybody can read about it in the story that's online. But all that aside, all that really matters is where's Peyton Kirkland going to end up going to school? Matt, I know you walked away from this visit not feeling great about Miami's chances there. Go ahead and fill us in on your thoughts on Peyton Kirkland.
Yeah, look, I know Peyton very well. I've met him numerous times. I don't think he actually noticed me when I interviewed him several times because he's so tall, and all I could see was probably the top.
Man.
He knows me by the top of my head. He doesn't know what my face looks like, but he knows what the top of my head looks like. Super nice kid. Super nice kid.
Nice.
Very nice of him to take the time of day. He actually, called me, which is, I'm sure all the fans out there think recruits are constantly calling us to ask us to do interviews with them. Not so much. Not so much.
Every now and then.
Hammered. Their phones are getting hammered. It's amazing we even get updates sometimes, quite honestly. Anyway, so Peyton had a great time, which is great. But yeah, I sort of know some of the inner stuff going on there. I just don't see it happening. There's still more time here, We'll see. But you guys can all read the story and, sort of give our analysis on where things stand.
So you mentioned he's a nice kid. And, I agree. I got to watch him up close at one of the camps a couple months ago, and he just dominates. He's so big. But that doesn't mean he'll dominate on the college level where everybody's big. But right now he's just so much bigger than everybody else. And, I mean, he just, toys with these defensive linemen. But I said to somebody, Peyton's a really nice kid. And the response I got, which made me think a little bit, was he is a nice kid. He's nice to everybody. And I think that kind of sums up the way his recruiting is going. He's nice to the people at Florida. He's nice to the people at Alabama. He's nice to the people at Miami. So nobody really has a clue where Peyton Kirkland's going to go. He says he's going to turn his phone off for the next however many days before he announces third week of July. I think he's planning on announcing. So he claims his phone's going to be off for the next 3 weeks while he sorts through everything. But we can't predict that he's coming to Miami. I mean, we see no signs that he is coming to Miami, but there are no signs that he's going anywhere else. And yes, he's friendly with everybody. So we'll see what happens there. Matt, Francis Magoa, everybody thought he was a lock for USC coming into this Miami visit. But everything I've heard was that his Miami visit was absolutely unbelievable, and that he exited the weekend very, very strongly considering Miami as much as anybody. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Miami's in this, but the West Coast is just, that's a great picture. The West Coast, I honestly think he winds up in the West Coast. I just do. I think Miami pulled even with a great visit, but I've seen this happen so many times. We'll just have to monitor it.
Look at this picture, okay? That's obviously Coach Salavea. Is this pulling all the stops out or what? I mean, we see great edits off every visit. Every school has graphic artists on staff. The graphic artists have become the MVPs of the football office just about everywhere in America. It's been an amazing, amazing evolution. And I don't know how they find enough of these graphics people to fill the demands of the job. I mean, they churn out so much content and stuff, but this to me is just beyond. This is one of the all-time classics in my opinion. And if nothing else gets Francis Magoa to come to Miami, this should, because this is a picture worth having on the wall for the rest of your life, in my opinion, Matt.
I mean, here's the other ridiculous. First of all, I don't think that's a graphic. I think they actually took that picture. But the other ridiculous thing is these recruits that sign in this day and age, they could leave a year later. They could leave 2 years later. They could leave 5 days after they report. This is why college football, I'm not a fan of what's going on anymore. Take this off. I can't even see my own face. I don't need to look at Joe Salave's muscles, okay? But this is why college football has changed forever. I had a believe it or not, I'm semi-friends with a University of Florida fan, and I was texting with him yesterday, and he was complaining how, about Jaden Rashad, first of all, getting outbid, hypothetically. And secondly, he was complaining that college football isn't what he grew up watching anymore. This is the sort of thing that happens. Recruits don't go to the school that they love the most. They go to the school that they like a lot, and that will give them hypothetically a lot of money, in NIL deals. And if it doesn't work out, they'll just go to a different school right afterwards. That's not the college football you and I grew up watching, Gary. And it's going to be the college football that our children's children just think is normal. I don't like it. We used to be able to root for a guy for 4 to 5, sometimes even 6 years if you're talking about Rusty Medeiros, or was it 7 years? And you knew that guy was coming back. They weren't going anywhere. And you had the same team, and you had freshmen that would be developed and become sophomores. And oh my gosh, is this going to break out as a junior? And it was so much fun to watch them develop as young men and become great players. And now they can become great players. And the question a fan has to ask is, are they staying here? Are they going pro early? Are they going to a different school where it's going to pay them a big NIL deal? Because it's legal now. Once a kid enrolls, Florida could come in the next day. After Jaden Rashad enrolls, Florida could literally come in the next day and say, listen, if you come here, we have a $5 million deal for you. And he could transfer the next day, and that's totally legal, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, no argument there. All right, so we talked about the visitors in the past. Now let's shift gears and let's look ahead to the future. This is a massive weekend coming up, Matt. It's Legends Camp weekend. You used to know it as Paradise Camp. Mario didn't like the name Paradise. He likes the name Legends.
Legends Camp. Who was the coach when there was Legend? Who was the coach when there was Paradise Camp? I can't remember. What was his name?
I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember that?
It's he who thou not be named. But it was a good creation, Matt. Matt, it was a good creation. It was worth keeping. I don't give a damn what it's called. Paradise, Legends, whatever. It is a nice day at the U.
Listen, all I know is I am not going to Legends Camp because apparently Stephen Field is looking for me and is going to chase me around Green Tree because of you. So I'm staying home, bro.
Hey, man, sorry. I just, I love the idea of a sumo match between the two of you guys. So,
you don't know what sumo match is,
and I can't remember all the details of what inspired me to come up with that idea, but
I said that maybe they shouldn't take 3 tight ends. It was just a thought.
And you know what? I'm still not good. I've come more in your direction the last couple days. Part of it was, oh man, everyone there were some people a little upset with me about my opinions that Khalil Brantley is not going to make it at Miami. He's got no it's like there certainly was nothing personal there. But if you look at the talent at that position with Mallory, Arroyo, Skinner, then Morelli is in the mix as a blocking tight end. Where does Khalil Brantley get playing time this year other than
here's why people are upset, Gary.
But wait, let me finish because you're going to get yelled at for interrupting me. All right, so then
you just interrupted me.
No, I was talking. Okay, I was talking about tight ends. All right. So then you add at least 2, if not 3 of these like absolutely elite looking freshmen into the mix. How does he ever see the field? So there was nothing personal there. At the same time, I think you're right. Like, how do you bring 3 of these guys in one class? And I don't know what is going to happen there. Riley Williams is supposed to announce this weekend, right? So I don't know. Does he announce Miami and then they have 3 tight end commits and does one of them get cold feet and flip to somebody else and whatever? I could say all this stuff because the wrestling match, sumo match, is already set between you and Coach Field, so I can sit here and speculate. But I've come in your direction. I don't know if I see all 3 of them being around in December. But just a great job of recruiting by Stephen Field at his position. But anyway, all right. So let's talk about official visitors that are going to be at Legends Camp with all the legends. And Michael Irvin's going to be there. I've heard Devin Hester's going to be there. There's going to be a whole bunch. We don't have the final list yet. As soon as we do, we'll post it on the website. But Collins Achamapong, Matt, this is a 6'8", 225-pound defensive end from California. Most people think he's going to Michigan, but listen, he's coming to visit Miami this weekend. It is going to be a lit, epic weekend at Miami. You just never know with Collins, and obviously we'll be reporting on him as the weekend goes on. And Matt, stop me if you have any thoughts on any of these, but I'm just going to go through this list alphabetically. Because, we won't get all long-winded about it. We'll talk more about them after the visits. But Jonel Aguero, a defensive back, a really good-looking safety from Danvers, Massachusetts. He's taken official visits to Florida, Georgia, Ohio State. Everything that we're hearing seems to point to the fact that he's going to end up at Georgia. But same deal. Official visit this weekend. It's going to be a great, exciting weekend at Miami. Obviously, Jonel's going to get to meet Ed Reed and maybe some other former Hurricanes. And you just never know. I mean, Miami's going to get a chance to put its best foot forward this weekend with Jonel Aguero. Jalen Braxton. He's a cornerback from Frisco, Texas. He's been sort of building a relationship with Miami's defensive coaches here the last few weeks. He's committed to Michigan State right now. Okay, let's qualify that. Committed in mid-June to Michigan State. But he's also taken visits to Baylor and Arkansas, and now he's coming to Miami. So I don't think, Matt, that Michigan State commit is so solid. I think that kind of falls in the category of what you've been talking about on this show today. And we'll see what happens after his visit to Miami this weekend. I don't think this is just a vacation in South Florida. I think he's legitimately interested in Miami. We'll see how he feels after the visit. All right, a guy that's been a little elusive, Matt, is this Malik Bryant, just a stud-looking linebacker out of Orlando Jones. He's visited Florida. He's visited Maryland. He's good buddies with Peyton Kirkland. They've said there's a reasonable chance that they go to school together. If that happens, it would probably be at Florida or Miami, I suspect. I think there's a definite chance here. Had a chance to talk to him at one of the camps as well. Clearly had interest in the Hurricanes, but not a kid that we've really been able to get a firm read on to this point. Hopefully that will change this weekend. Jonathan Klein, an offensive lineman. I said they need to start getting some offensive linemen. Matt is bullish on a potential commitment coming from Jonathan Klein, 6'4", 295-pounder out of Cartersville, Georgia. This kid's interesting, Matt. Doesn't have a lot of major offers like most Miami recruits. He's taken visits to East Carolina and Memphis. Duke is in his picture. Why do you think that Miami is so much in the forefront of his recruitment when you factor in those other situations?
Well, it's because of the coaches, and he and Madden Sanker are really good friends. So I wouldn't be shocked if that's the interior line they take, those two guys. But with respect to Jonathan, he thought his Miami recruitment was over. Never heard from the previous staff after the Alabama-Miami game. And then the new coaches come in, and he hears from Alex Mirabal right away. And he says they've been blowing up his phone ever since. They love this kid. So that's part of the reason why I think he comes here. He knows how good these coaches are. He loves the coaches. All it's going to sort of take is this whole weekend experience, having a great visit, and that'll be it. That'll seal the deal. His family gets to see campus, gets to get around everything, get comfortable with it, and that'll be it. And I would expect he'll commit within probably a week or so of this visit this weekend.
Yeah, and I think you just got to anybody that wants to evaluate stars and all that, and offer lists and all that, you got to trust Alex Mirabal and Mario Cristobal. When it comes to offensive linemen, right?
No, it's nothing to do with that. The tendency of every.
You don't trust Cristobal and Mirabal in evaluating linemen?
Well, I didn't mean it like that, but you were mentioning that. You were mentioning that in the same vein as paying attention to the stars. What I was disagreeing with is the star system is built to reward offensive tackles only. For whatever reason, they don't separate offensive tackles from interior linemen. If they did, I fully think that Jonathan Klein would be a 4-star interior lineman. And I think that some services, maybe one that's 2 letters and a number down the road, will do that hopefully, because it's the right way to rate these kids. It's only when you look at the list of 5-star offensive linemen, it's always offensive tackles, man. Give some love to the offensive guards and centers out there. It just seems like offensive guards and centers are always 3 stars, no matter how good they are, no matter how many offers they have.
Right, because they're not 320 pounds, right?
Correct. They're not 6'7" and 320 pounds and future NFL first-round picks.
You're making a great point, Matt.
Well, that's why I'm not talking about Mirabal and Cristobal.
You're right.
Yeah,
100% right. So we'll see what happens there. All right, another offensive lineman that is up next, Monroe Frieling. He's from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. He is an offensive tackle. He's not 325 pounds. He's only 275. He's coming off a Florida visit that went very well. He's also visited Notre Dame, and he's got a top 7. Miami's in it. So is Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, Clemson. This is a kid that people like. He's a 4-star. Obviously, a big part of this recruiting weekend, Matt. We'll talk about how it looks after the visit. But Monroe Frieling is a very important visitor this weekend. All right, next up, Jackson Howard. He's listed as a tight end. Don't get nervous, everybody. He will not be a tight end at the college level. This is a kid that's going to be a defensive end in college. Miami's been all over this one for a long time. Matt, would you agree with me that with a great visit that Miami's got a great shot to land Jackson Howard?
I think so, but listen, as weird as it sounds, I actually think Minnesota might be a player here. I mean, Minnesota's not a terrible team. You know, they're up and down.
He's from New Hope, Minnesota.
Yeah, exactly. And Minnesota sort of reminds me a little bit of what Virginia Tech used to be, where they'd be great every 4 or 5 years. And again, just like kids like to stay in Miami and play in front of their family, that might be a pull. Now, with that said, he's shown a lot of interest in Miami, you know. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Hurricane, but at the same time, you know, it's not like I'm going to say, oh yeah, I really feel great about it. We put him at medium high chance for a reason. Like, I feel better about him than about a lot of other guys. I'd probably put him after Nathaniel Joseph and Jonathan Klein. I'd probably put him right in the next 2 or 3 guys after that with the best chance on these visits, on this official visit list. But that's more so because I don't feel so great about a bunch of the official visitors this weekend, which is okay because they're all national guys. They're not local guys. But I don't know how else to put it. Like, that's just how I feel about Jackson Howard. Like, I feel there's a good chance, but at the same time, I could see him not picking Miami because, you know, it's not real close to his family.
It's far from Minnesota, no doubt. But a lot of effort has gone into him, and I don't think they'd be putting that effort in if there wasn't a real.
Well, they put effort into everybody. That doesn't mean much.
No, but this kid has gotten a lot of effort. Like, when you're going to freaking Minnesota to recruit a kid, like, that means you really want him, and they've put a lot of effort into it. They have. So we'll see what happens. We'll know more after this weekend. All right, next up, Nathaniel Joseph. Matt, well, I know we both agree that he's coming to Miami. It could happen as soon as this weekend. This is his official visit. I'm sure he'll get to spend some time with Michael Irvin and some of the other former greats. And I'll be surprised if Nathaniel Ray Joseph is not a Miami Hurricane commit real soon. Tommy Kinsler up next. Matt, this one's really bizarre. Okay, he's got his official visit to Miami this weekend. Why commit to the Florida Gators the weekend before you're going to Miami? He's a 6'6", 330-pounder from Ocala Trinity. Matt, your read on this Tommy Kinsler deal?
I think he committed to Florida, so that way when he gets to Miami, he can do a big flip and make everyone excited in Miami. That's the only reason I can think of. That's it. That's the only reason he'd commit to Florida. Makes no sense otherwise.
Yeah, I don't get. Well,
he's not coming to Miami. He's not going to be a Hurricane, okay?
I don't think so. But why didn't he just wait a week? Like,
I don't know, man.
And if he's not, seriously considering Miami. I'm surprised they're letting them official visit, but he's still on the list. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, another guy that has been believed to be slipping away from the Canes is Cormani McClain, a guy that's considered one of the top players in the country at any position. He's a big cornerback. Funny, like I heard he hasn't been playing so well lately on the 7-on-7 circuit. I heard they had to pull him out of the game in Las Vegas that he was so bad, which was kind of weird. But anyway, he's still ranked very high. He's a 5-star defensive back, and he'll be making his official visit to Miami. The common perception on Cormani is that he's going to Alabama or Florida. Miami has been working this one tirelessly for many, many months. Cormani is connected to Lance Leggett, the former Miami receiver. Lance has been in his ear. Mario Cristobal spoke at his high school a couple months ago. Cormani McClain has been a very high priority recruit. This is his first official visit of his recruitment. We'll see what happens. All right, next up, another offensive lineman, another 5-star, a kid from Braintree, Massachusetts by the name of Samson Okanola. And again, obviously 6'5", 300 pounds. Everybody wants him. Miami, Oregon, Michigan State, Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Penn State, Ohio State. Samson can go anywhere he wants. Matt, how serious do you think his interest is in Miami?
Look, it's just great they got him to come visit. I don't think he winds up here. I don't know what else to say about it. We'll see how the visit goes. With all these guys, look, a lot of them, if you look at the list, you'll see, low chance, medium low chance, whatever. Like, it's not saying they can't come here. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I think they're going to come. They have to come visit, and then we'll see. I have had no indication before this other than Miami recruiting him really hard that he's going to come here. Miami coaches got their foot in the door by recruiting him hard. That's why he's coming, and then we'll see how the visit goes.
All right, next up, Madden Sanker. He's a 6'4", 299-pounder, an offensive guard, the kind of guy that Matt Shodell wants to see get a little bit more respect in the star rankings, but he is already a 4-star. He's from Douglasville, Georgia. He's gone to Michigan State, Louisville, Arkansas. I believe Miami is right smack in the middle of this one. Other people think Louisville might lead. I could see Miami overcoming that. Madden Sanker is one to watch, in my opinion, going into the weekend. Matt, any thoughts?
I think, like I said before, I think he and Klein could easily wind up in this class together. They're buddies.
Yeah. All right, so that's the official visitors. There's a whole lineup of unofficial visitors. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll mention a couple that are important. Damari Brown, the defensive back. Christopher Johnson, the running back from Dillard. He's very important. Robbie and Bobby Washington will be out there. They're already committed, but they'll be out there. Miami Central wide receiver Josiah Trader, he'll be out there. Who else? Those are the main ones, but there's several more. And we've got the list on the website, and we'll have coverage over the weekend on all these guys and bring you up to date the best we can on where Miami stands with them all. All right. A couple more things to talk about before we go, but let's hear from our friends first at Life Wallet.
Hi, I'm Nigel Pack, and when I decided to come to Miami, I knew I had to pack, including my Life Wallet. But you know what else I'm going to pack this upcoming season? I'm going to pack the house. But today, I'm going to stand here and make another tray.
The feed to Pack. He throws another. Give it to him. His third from the corner pocket. When he was persistent, Nigel Pack again.
Never leave your home without your Life Wallet. Saving time, saving lives.
MSP stock is making a big rebound, Matt. Good, congratulations.
Hey, listen, thank God you bought it, Gary. Otherwise, it would have kept tanking.
I wish I'd bought it when it was 1. It's now like 2.5. But I think John Ruiz's net worth went up like $2.5 billion in the last day or something. So that's a good thing for MSP. Keep things going well there. So Miami NIL keeps rocking and rolling. But I like that commercial a lot, except for that scoreboard. I don't like that scoreboard in the middle of the commercial. Next time we play that, check out that scoreboard. It looks like it's a high school scoreboard at best. So we got to find a new scoreboard to edit into that commercial. But and I love that line, "Pack the house." I can just see John Ruiz himself writing that script. Like that's the kind of line that John would have come up with himself. Pack the house. But it's just like, when they had the billboard of Isaiah Wong, when they had that event downtown, like, don't take the Wong turn. That was awesome. Make sure you come here. Don't take the Wong turn. All right. Let me get my notes here because I believe there were a couple other things that we're supposed to talk about here on today's show. I've gotten myself off on a little bit of a tangent. No, Matt, I think we've covered everything. Believe it or not.
So? You think that's it? It's 45 minutes.
I don't think I left anything out. I think we're in good shape. 45 minutes into the show. All right. So, bottom line, a lot of exciting stuff going to be going on at Miami this weekend. We will do our best to cover it all for you, as always, and just get a good read. The dead period starts Sunday at midnight. So you're going to have about a 3.5 week window there where Miami's going to shut down recruiting. The coaches are going to go on vacation, much deserved vacation for these guys. They have been working their butts off on recruiting. And I think you're starting to see some of the fruits of those labors. And they got a lot of work ahead of them this weekend because that's a lot of kids that are going to be on campus. That deep roster of talent that Mario's put together between the coaching staff and the support staff is going to get put to the test on Saturday at the U, no doubt about it. All right, so we'll be out there with all kinds of coverage. From Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Ferman. We thank you for starting your day with us once again and joining us here on Good Morning CaneSport. We'll be back Monday with a big show to talk about everything that we saw over the weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody.